There is something that is yelling in the charts in July, specifically July the 15th through the 26th. I want to see how these transits occurring all at 4 degrees with outer planets could affect the financial markets, the crypto market. It could be events that are occurring that affect all financial markets, but it's something that it will not be missed. I will be doing a forecast for this as it gets closer to July 14th's new moon, but I want to take a look at this to start to understand this ahead of time to get a better understanding of this energy. Transits that are occurring all together at once. Uranus sextile Neptune. Uranus trine Pluto. Jupiter trine Neptune. Jupiter opposite to Pluto. Jupiter sextile Uranus. Those are all happening as Mercury is retrograde. After Mercury is direct, Neptune will sextile Pluto, and then Saturn will go retrograde. So as this is occurring, Mercury and Saturn are slowing down to change direction. This is adding chaos into this period of time with high amounts of energies occurring at one time. Uranus, sudden changes, sudden shifts. Pluto is power. Jupiter is the expansion of beliefs. Neptune could be the illusions, could be causing fog, it could be causing unexpected events to unfold. Events that could be out of this world, once in a lifetime type of energy. Neptune and Pluto, power and not having borders, not having boundaries, power out of bounds. Is also on a personal level, it is a very spiritual, religious type of energy. Beliefs, strong beliefs into a higher power, into something that we can't even fathom or even imagine happening. That is the energies that is going on all at one time. Unexpected power, unexpected shifts, expanding whatever the energies are very strongly. Jupiter, Pluto, that is tension within power, corruption, doing things that are against the law, against the rules, getting in trouble for something that is illegal. It is a tense point. All happening at 4 degrees. That is the energy of Cancer. Very protective type of energy. Leo energy, bold, protective energy, maybe protecting the finances, protecting the markets, or protection of other countries. I'm also looking at this as a geopolitical view of what could other countries and nations be looking at and doing here. Expanding their beliefs of what they want, doing whatever it takes, whether it's corrupt or not, to get what they want, expanding the values, suddenly explosive tensions rising, exploding. Explosion could be another key word here. This energy starts as the new moon is happening in Cancer. So these degrees are Cancer degrees, 4 degrees. The new moon is in Cancer, highly emotional time, explosive emotional time. The new moon in Cancer, we'll be in the heat of things. The new moon is at 21 degrees. The North Node is not involved to the moon at this time, which is good because there'll be one less layer to look at, one less thing to have to worry about, we'll say. Because if it was in a challenging aspect of the moon to the North Node, that is unexpected, very challenging events. And because the moon rules this new moon, the emotions are highly charged. It's as if one little thing can set off a chain of events. The moon is squaring to Chiron, highly emotional, squaring to Saturn, challenges, struggles, restrictions. That's just in general. North Node and Uranus will be in a square to each other, and Mars will be next to Uranus. Explosive energies. Up, down, positive, negative, whatever way it will go. This is extremely unstable. Anything that can happen will happen suddenly, changing the course of direction within the markets, within the world, within whatever situations are unfolding. This could be a period of tensions escalating around the world in different ways. And that could be for the good, it could be for the bad, but it's going to be highly suddenly changing stress and tension points. One thing I do have to say is what I'm saying here, I am just researching, trying to understand these energies. When I do the forecast for this period, I could be changing some of my views of what I'm looking at as I do more research into this, but I just want to share what I'm looking at with you guys. This chart is set for July 20th. I picked the 20th because it is right in the middle of the 15th and the 25th, 26th. And I didn't want to have 7 charts up here to look at, so I just picked the 20th. This is a whole sign I'm looking at. There is this, I'm not even sure what type of shape this is. There's 2 triangles right here. One triangle here, one triangle here. They're overlapping each other. And then there is this red line here, as if it's cutting off the circulation, cutting off the expansion of energies. This is on the edge of all of these transits happening on one side of the chart. It's the left side of the chart. Something starting new, but yet something also ending. Beginning and endings colliding. Something suddenly cutting off. Something suddenly critically shifting something here. What I'm trying to say is that there's these energies of these trines, these sextiles of Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter, all doing these wonderful things with each other, like as if everything just wants to grow, this euphoric type of energy. But Pluto and Jupiter, opposite to each other, also involved in these trines and sextiles, is cutting off the circulation, cutting off the flow of the energies, interruption. This is on the 20th. The moon will be opposite to Saturn. From the 15th through this 25th, the moon will be moving throughout Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and even Scorpio. It'll be hitting all of these outer planets. It's opposite to Saturn. It'll be opposite to Neptune. It'll be sextiling and trining and squaring all of these outer transits, planets. The emotions are highly shifting quickly and rapidly. The North Node is at 0 degrees of Pisces. Chiron is at 0 degrees of Taurus. Something starting and something ending. Again, I think that's a pattern here. At the same time, though, like there's no boundary, no stopping and going in between the starting and stopping. Everything is happening all at once, all at one time. North Node, you're at 0 degrees of Pisces, getting ready to enter into Aquarius. The North Node business and economy cycle. Aquarius is the lowest point of the economic cycle. So that makes Pisces, it's moving lower, the economy. The 2008, 2009 market crash happened with the North Node in Pisces. I don't remember the exact degree, but it happened in Pisces. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind. Chiron at 0 degrees, it is shifting our attention from the self, focusing on how can I fix or heal myself. What is looking at yourself versus looking at what you value. This is money, the value of money, the value of stocks, the values of physical things, retail, entertainment. Something is shifting. The value of something is shifting physically in our world. And that will also have a direct influence on financial markets. This could be good, this could be bad. I'm not saying that it's either of the two. I'm just looking at the energies. The North Node is always moving backwards or in the opposite direction. So right now it is at the end of Pisces, getting ready to move into Aquarius, shifting the economic cycle and the economics of countries. Moving next to Mars, Mars will be in a sextile to Saturn. I'm looking at Mars because Mars is an indicator I have found when there's all-time highs, when there's market crashes, that Mars is talking to an outer planet. In this case, it's Saturn. Now, it's a sextile. That does not mean that it will be positive. It could be the opposite. It could be negative. It could be this overexpansion and then a sudden shift to make a market's fall. And I have found that Mars has been a lot of times in a positive aspect to an outer planet. And because I find this period so critical is because they're all at 4 degrees. I've also seen that planets were in exact transits to outer planets were in exact transits to other outer planets during these all-time highs and market crashes. So what I'm really seeing here is that this period of the 14th through the 26th, that week, even beforehand, even like the week before, even up to 2 weeks before, 2 weeks afterwards, so a month here, from July 1st through the end of July, we could see the markets moving in these all-time highs or market crashes. That's what I'm seeing here in July. I don't know which way it's going to be yet. It could be the markets have this explosive move up and then all of a sudden they all crash, or they could just move up, go to these all-time highs, or just do the opposite and go to these crashes. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I do feel it's going to be either a crash before it goes up exponentially, or it goes up exponentially before the markets fall, or they could just fall as well. I feel like it's going to be more that the markets are moving up. There's this euphoric feeling, and then all of a sudden something comes to a screeching halt. I do feel that because of this Pluto and Jupiter opposite to each other. Power struggle, power shift, something that comes out that critically hurts financial markets. Laws, power, corruption, scandals, something that bubble burst of some sort, maybe a certain market sector bubble bursting. Jupiter does rule housing, but that's more in Cancer. In Leo, it would be more something with leaders. Pluto is AI, it's technology, maybe technological bubble bursting, technological shifts that cause something to happen within these markets, maybe a hack, something that stands out. And when it happens, you're like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Won't be a guess. Chiron is something else to look at. Chiron will be squaring to Pluto, squaring to Jupiter, and squaring to the sun. But I'm focusing on Jupiter and Pluto. Chiron is at that 0 degrees. That's intense. That is a challenge to overcome. Power challenges, law challenges, expanding, overexpansion. I really feel like this is like this overexpansion or bubble bursting before there's some sort of fall, sharp fall. And as I stated, that new moon, during that new moon on the 14th of July, the North Node was not in any aspects to the moon. So that's not a factor. What I'm saying is that there's not a challenge that's standing out. There's not something really positive that's standing out with the North Node. Chiron is something to take into consideration because it's at 0 degrees and squaring to Pluto retrograde and Jupiter. Now, what's interesting is that Saturn is not involved in these outer planet transits. Saturn will be sextile to Mars, but it's not involved in these outer planet transits. That could be a very important part of this puzzle. And I will take note of that because that could be a key piece to all of this. That could be the key piece of what showing how this market will unfold during this time. I'll have to go back and look in my notes and see what Saturn has been doing in these all-time highs and crashes. But that this could be actually a very good thing that Saturn is not talking to the outer planets, but it's talking to Mars. So that is, I'm going to have to do further research on this. This is New York Stock Exchange's chart. The sun will be in a sextile to its natal sun. That's actually very good. Expansion, optimism, growth. So for the The New York Stock Exchange, this looks like it could be a better time than other markets, possibly. Again, I have to do further research on this. In Bitcoin's chart, the moon is squaring to natal sun. Saturn is still squaring to natal sun, and Venus is trine to natal sun. This is tension, yet trying to find its way out of the tension, trying to rise above the tension. Saturn will be next to this descendant line still, because it's still squaring the sun and the ascendant. Still a challenge, but Venus is giving this hope, this optimism, this that we could pull through. I'm noticing too that the transiting moon will be at the very top of Bitcoin's chart. That's actually very positive. The moon moves quickly, so the moon will not be here at the top of the chart the whole entire time. It's just on the 20th, the 19th, the 21st, maybe the 22nd. So during the 20th, this could be very good for Bitcoin as well. But again, I have to look at the rest of the pieces of this puzzle. And Saturn and the moon squaring to the sun, and really Saturn, could be sudden changes of directions, this hopeful optimism, euphoric, being met by challenges. That's all I have for now. I just wanted to share this because I needed to talk it out, to look at it, to research it, to understand it. As I continue to look at it, I can gather more information to have a better understanding of how this part of the month, or how July will affect the financial markets and the general geopolitics of the world, because this is going to be a very highly sensitive, changing period. Sudden beginnings, sudden endings, shocking, explosive types of energies that's happening. Things that have never happened before that are happening, that are causing these unimaginable events that are shaping the markets, that are shaping our world. And if you're looking for an astrology reading, my link is in the description below. We can look at your charts to see the energies going on around this time, see the opportunities that are occurring, or any challenges maybe to work through and overcome. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe, and share.